What's up guys, Devon back at it again with yet another Devon Explains entry, and today, as promised, I graciously give you Godzilla in his current spiral ray state, which yes, he is currently in his spiral ray state, versus the Avengers and the Justice League.
So I've really been working on
Now, I am not in love with Phase 4 or Phase 5, so I will not include those. And, the DCU was cut short, so I'll just kind of cover everything there is to cover as far as I am aware. So, without any further ado, I'm gonna have to ask you to like, subscribe, comment, and share. If you hate or love these videos, it doesn't matter, please subscribe, and let's get right into it, because today Devon explains why Godzilla fighting Earth's strongest heroes is not a close fight.
Embrace what? Embrace your flaws. Thank you. Gotta embrace your flaws. Sometimes you gotta embrace being fat. Look it. If you a big nigga, just embrace that shit. That's what you gotta do sometimes, regardless of facts. And if you a short, if you 4'11", you know what I'm saying? And you buy boots on purpose to be taller. Fuck the boots. Embrace the height. Sometimes if you fit a double XL, you gotta just wear that. The fuck, no matter how tight the shirt is. Sometimes you gotta just go to the double XL, bro. Sometimes instead of putting the seat all the way up in the car, so you can see taller from outside,
just let that shit hit the floor.
Just embrace it, even if
she above the stairwell.
You should embrace your height. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you go to dinner, you
gotta vacuum everybody plate off the fucking dinner table. So
you get person.
Starting off with the Justice League, I have a few things to mention. Cyborg, Aquaman, and Wonder Woman might as well be clones of the same person. None of them have any relevant hacks, none of them have any standout scaling, aside from being Superman victims, and none of them are gonna change the fight that much. Aquaman is fucking water, cool. Wonder Woman's bracelets aren't gonna work because Godzilla's too fucking big. And Godzilla has no technology on him that Cyborg can fuck with. Big gun, big fist, big sword, that's about it. Batman just does not matter. Do not talk to me. The guy would need so much firepower to matter that you might as well just make 2 cyborgs and move on. Now, Flash would be the hardest to tag because dude wouldn't try to box Godzilla head on, but at the same time, he would be doing the least amount of damage down to Batman because A, trash attack potency, literally 0 feats until the guy literally cannot ever defeat Zod ever, which is fucking crazy because that's not even powered Zod, that's just suit Zod. And B, his phasing wouldn't work because he's too small and Godzilla's insides are just as durable as his outsides, so Flash would only be the same thing as fucking Red Rush, except without being able to hurt Godzilla at all. Now, Superman would obviously be the heaviest hitter and the one that would kill or be killed first, but still don't expect a clash between his heat vision and the atomic breath because the breath is just too big for a clash. It's gonna engulf Superman's vision even if his vision turns out to be stronger.
Oh god, Carlito's about to get speared.
Taking all this into account, let's get right into their scaling. Steppenwolf is implied to be relative to the real DCU Doomsday, who broke one of Krypton's moons, and the people that matter scale to Steppenwolf, be it the Big Three or Superman. Now, Superman did one-shot the World Engine, but all it does is increase gravity, so no attack potency in that. But when the 2 Phantom drives collided with each other, they formed a black hole, and then Superman went into the event horizon of it and escaped it. So FTL by definition, and not even light, can escape a black hole. This is a Superman that Wonder Woman scales to. Wonder Woman would also scale to this same version of Superman, moving a tectonic plate to avoid an earthquake, which, as my versus Battle Wiki nigga eloquently put it, his name is not Earthquake Man. So the realistic and this country level energy. In the prequel comic, Adam also maybe broke a moon, though given the fact he uses his lightning, and that's a lot of fucking lightning, it's consistent with the fact he's still stronger than anything in the universe, which would include the real Doomsday and his moon level feat. Which, mind you, I'm saying Doomsday's feat is his moon level being generous. The actual calculations consistently get multi-continental. And for Adam, it gets higher. There's large planetary wank, there's planetary, there's small planetary, multi-continental even sometimes. So saying moon level, Adam's being higher than that, is not that much of a stretch. Which, seeing as we are already within the planetary conversation, there's obviously a planetary meta for the DCEU. Superman has planetary statements, Black Adam has planetary statements, the mother boxes can destroy Earth over time, and Superman instead disappeared to them, plus he and Cyborg straight up destroyed them. The fact that Superman is superior to overtime planetary supports him being above moon level, and combined with the other statements, you can argue planetary as well.
Blue Beetle is at the minimum planetary with actual calculations, imagining it at large planetary to dwarf star level, and some random Green Lantern did actually affect it. If you want to use this to say that anybody in the Justice League is large planetary to dwarf star, then Zuko tanked going through a black hole and therefore is solar system level.
Now, when it comes to speed, I've already mentioned the big thing. Superman skipped the black hole, so FTL, this scales to the big three, evidently to Superman, and even more evidently to Flash. But Reborn Superman does statue Wonder Woman, who could keep up with that FTL speed. Though I'm hesitant to say that this is an MFTL plus speed feat, massively faster than the speed of light, seeing as Wonder Woman can still attack him, an utter impossibility if he is 2,000 times faster than she is. And we know that the guy is not allowing her to attack him when 2 seconds earlier, he literally did not allow her to attack him. So, despite her being a lot slower, it's not like she cannot ever in a million years defend herself. Kind of the same situation as Kong Perception blitzing Mechagodzilla, but still not being so much faster that it does not matter what MG does, he will never be able to do anything. We'll take this as Superman getting vastly faster. Perceptionless is faster if you want to, but never massively faster than Light Plus. What does this mean? Well, from FTL to FTL Plus to even MFTL if you want to. And if you care about it, Flash would be faster than this Superman. So overall, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, and Aquaman would be moon level with FTL speed. Flash would be country level with FTL plus to MFTL speed. Superman would be above moon level, small planet, planetary if you want to as well, with FTL plus to MFTL speed. There are no relevant hacks to speak of, seeing as nobody has bullshit magic, and none of their abilities have anything special to them aside from heat. They also have no interesting resistances, but most importantly, they do not have resistance to the atomic scale matter manipulation that the mother boxes have. And that little tidbit will most definitely come in handy later.
In every part of the universe, it is the same.
We'll be covering the Avengers as they are in Endgame, including the original gang, Wanda, Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, and as for Hulk, he will be specifically in his last seen Savage Hulk version 2018. Now, that's the same one that forced Thanos to use the Power Stone. Also, if you want to boost Godzilla's KD ratio, add the Wakandan army and make this basically him replacing Thanos' army.
The reason that white people are inferior is because they don't have enough melanin in their skin.
As with the Justice League, Thor, Hulk, Iron Man, Wanda, Captain Marvel, and Strange are the only ones that matter. Everyone else is absolutely fucking fodder, and even if they were as strong as these other people, they just don't have that level of destructive capacity to be able to harm Godzilla. Because Godzilla is so big, you need destructive capacity to be able to kill him. By the way, if you give Captain America a Mjolnir, then he actually does have the destructive capacity and the power to become a player too. Okay, so Wanda and Strange are hacksmongers, sure, but Wanda just doesn't use her hacks in battle, and Strange does use stuff in battle, transmogrification, BFR, and such things. These, however, aren't his go-to option, but he doesn't waste too much time getting to them, and there's a few things about them that I'll mention when I get to the battle analysis. With all of this in mind, let's set up some scaling.
Do you lie about your weight loss? Don't get a response from me, ain't no confession.
No.
Before I tell a lie, I won't tell you nothing.
Captain Marvel and Wanda scale above a base Thanos. There's no denying that, with Captain Feminism taking a Power Stone blow and surviving with no great injury, and Wanda just treating Thanos like a little kid. Spinning it back to Infinity War, Hulk forced Thanos to use the Power Stone a little. Not enough to make it glow, but enough to amp Thanos physically, meaning he's slightly physically above a baseline Thanos. On the lower end, Iron Man should scale to Thor as they both fought on par against Thanos, and Tony took a blow from Mjolnir. However, would still be weaker due to needing Thor to buff him so he would feel confident attacking Thanos after testing his normal rays, and Thor wouldn't crashing the fuck out, does actually crush Thanos a little bit. Cap is actually just stronger than Thanos as well, meaning he's also stronger than Thor and Iron Man combined, does just as good as Wanda, but to be fair, that was before Thanos locked the fuck in. So he's only in Wanda's tier and above Thor and Iron Man. Now, with the inverse ranking, let's get into the actual feats and calculations. Captain Marvel, Hulk, and Wanda would partially scale to the Power Stone's large planetary feat, consistent with their scaling above Thor, who has a multi-continental feat in cracking Jotunheim's surface, scales above Rocket's moon-busting weapons, and also scales significantly above the overtime planetary Bifrost. All of this on top of the fact that Endgame Thor is stronger than the versions of him that did all of these things, supporting the heavy-hitting Avengers being in that small planet-to-planetary tier, which, by the way, Iron Man is included in that, but like a little bit less than everybody else. As for speed, everyone can block Iron Man's lasers, so everyone has relativistic to FTL reactions in combat, with Captain Marvel performing a casual relativistic plus flight speed feat that should scale to Thanos' reaction time, and thus everyone else. There's also this funny Blazing Void guy who'll tell you all about MFTL plus pre-awakening weakened Thor with like post-nut clarity, but in real terms, the verse seems to pretty consistently cap at FTL as of Phase 3, as far as my 30 minutes of research go. No, I will not mention that one prequel comic for XYZ movie where Tony Stark says Hulk's left ballsack has caloric output equal to a supernova. Shut the fuck up.
That was right! Oh, wow!
So overall, everyone who matters are at the lowest moon level and at the highest planetary. Yes, I know Carol has a small star feat, and yes, that could bump up everybody else, but there's this funny thing that says Monarch, Legacy of Monsters is canon to the Monsterverse, and everybody remembers what that show gave us. I completely forgot to mention this, but Doctor Strange does also fight a 4 stones Thanos with the ability to somewhat box the Power Stone, and while he is definitively stated weaker than Captain Marvel and Wanda, he should be in that realm of power as well. Also, I forgot to mention the Valkyrie feat for Thor, which it doesn't matter because he only took the luminosity and the heat of this star, and even then only a tiny portion of said beam, which is pretty consistently calculated to be country level, and congratulations, you're equal to Godzilla's left ball sack with that.
Oh my god, he's unresponsive. His pulse is fading. Listen, we're not gonna be able to get him to the hospital in time, alright? Call in a helicopter. Call in a helicopter right now. Sir, please, stay down. Don't move, stay down. We're gonna get you some help. Sir, please. No, put your keys down. Put your keys down. You can't drive.
So Godzilla is a behemoth in terms of power. He is the strongest thing in his verse at any normal point, with his power only being surpassed by Ghidorah until GXK and by Shima until this very day. Even then, he outscales Ghidorah by a long shot now, and with this spiral ray has extremely arguable scaling to Shimo, and by arguable, I mean there's a fuck ton of argument whether he wins or not. I personally believe that they're just equally matched, since any win condition you can argue for one would easily apply to the other. Now, any feat in the Monsterverse, such as Mujo Prime's supersonic earthquakes that rip through the planet's mantle, which he does by digging, or Ghidorah's passive countryside storms, which are pretty much the equivalent of his body heat, Godzilla scales to and beyond. Even the weakest of Titans, once the Godzilla one-shots easily, can go through a vile vortex with absolutely no effect. Now, a vile vortex is a black hole that crushes down on you as it sends you barreling through 1,000 miles in 2 seconds, only for the entire gravitational energy of the hollow Earth and the kinetic energy of that fall to smash down on you by converting in less than a second. So basically, you're pretty much just getting hit with immense kinetic energy, which is impressive given the fact that Titans weigh thousands of tons. You are getting smashed down by the gravity of a planet, and you're tanking a black hole. Any Titan can do this, even Zuko and Godzilla one-shot Titans that do this. There's also the fact that any Titan, moving, roaring, fighting, existing in general, causes massive earthquakes that the planet is completely unaffected by. These earthquakes, can range from simple magnitude 1, magnitude 2, all the way up to breaking the seismic scale, with the planet being completely unaffected. And these aren't created by the Titans striking the ground or actively trying to destroy anything. No. Kong drop-kicking, skarking in the air, causes an earthquake that breaks the fucking scale. Shimo smashing into Godzilla, not really going into the ground, also smashes the seismic scale. These Titans are performing magnitude 13, 14, 15 earthquakes, and these are just the after effects of their fighting. So any destruction feat performed within this super planet, such as Muja Prime's supersonic earthquakes, Godzilla's infamous hollow earth rail, and literally anything in it, are far stronger than what their normal calculations get, which is multicontinental, planetary ranges, and even the low star ranges. Titans have planetary statements. Titans weaker than Godzilla, and even Ghidorah has destroyed other planets. So, planetary ranges, low solar ranges are not inconsistent at all, and the low solar ranges are just kinda true, given the fact that this is a super planet that they are easily burning holes into, that they are destroying the mantle of, and that they can destroy in its entirety. All of this is inferior to Godzilla, and Godzilla's beam is the strongest natural phenomenon, which is, superior to stars, superior to gamma ray bursts, black holes, and most importantly, above the hollow Earth, above vile vortexes, which, by the way, the hollow Earth is only equal to Godzilla's sleeping energy, which you can even argue it's the recovering energy from the minion. Either a weakened or a base Godzilla sleeping, which is inferior to his active energy, is relative to a structure that not only feeds the other Titans, but also feeds multiple black holes, consistent with the fact that Godzilla is also literally the strongest thing in the universe, which would include stars, neutron stars, gamma ray bursts, black holes, everything. Which, mind you, vile vortexes are black holes that produce gamma rays and are compared to neutron stars and pulsars and all that type of stuff that Godzilla would upscale via the strongest thing in nature statement. These things loop around, they support each other. A baseline, even a weakened Godzilla, is easily, casually multicontinental to large planetary with active dwarf star, small star level feats, and extremely arguable solar system level ends. All of this before he gets multiple times physically stronger, before his atomic breath gets 20, 40 times more powerful, and mind you, his durability tanks 3 times said atomic breath with no damage. So just to recap really quickly, Godzilla's extremely lowest end, his body heat, is multicontinental to large planetary. Godzilla's active destructive capacity is dwarf star to small star level, and then his actual attack potency is higher than that, which, mind you, you can even argue solar system level based on multiple statements and metas. Extreme power for the king of the monsters. When it comes to speed, it's a little less impressive than his power and a little less, extensive. He mostly just scales off of Kong and Ghidorah, who can dodge and react to his atomic breath, which gets them relativistic to FTL speeds. Godzilla and Kong grow in speed past these feats. By the end, by his Power Ray amp, Godzilla is arguably 8 times faster than these feats. A high end, the highest end, is Kong perception blitzing MG while badly weakened, who he himself has a relativistic feat compared to the atomic breath. This, when applying all the multipliers, gets Godzilla MFTL speed. While Kong does just objectively perception blitz Mechagodzilla, I don't really believe that the perception blitz is anything but a relativistic being fighting an FTL being, but it is there and the calculation isn't wrong, it's just kinda a little bit inconsistent. Regardless, Godzilla at any point is FTL to MFTL in speed. I won't really go into his hacks and abilities, you can already tell what he can do: big monster, atomic breath, atomic pulse. Any interesting things I will mention when it comes to fighting the Avengers and the Justice League, just so this section doesn't get longer than it already is. Without any further ado, let's get right into the battle.
I have my sister, she was a lesbian. I have a brother, he likes men. And, it's a hard subject because, I keep it real. I tell my brother all the time, I was like, dog, don't be come over here with that gay.
So, we got Godzilla. Easily planetary, more than likely dwarf star level all the way up to solar system level, with definitively FTL plus to maybe MFTL speed, facing off against a bunch of moon level to planetary people with FTL to FTL plus speeds, with the only 2 guys who are faster than Godzilla having no way of defeating him, seeing as their attack potency is never going to cause Godzilla any problems, and Superman can throw Godzilla around all he wants, 1 atomic pulse and he's dead. All of those people who are just muscly are also going to die, but even worse, because 1 atomic breath is going to rake across that battlefield and destroy everybody. The only way that the Avengers and the Justice League could possibly win is if Wanda and Strange survive, and they smarten up fast enough that they use their hacks. Wanda to manipulate Godzilla's mind, and Doctor Strange to send him to the mirror dimension. Sending Godzilla to the mirror dimension is completely dependent on whether he would do that first and not try some other hacks, which if he does try any other hacks, he is getting immediately one-shot by Godzilla. Same thing goes for Wanda. If she tries any other hacks, she's immediately getting one-shot, and even with the mind manipulation, even if she gets it off, there's 2 things she could think of. Either get Godzilla to fuck off, which, given Godzilla's protective instincts of his territory, transcend his own consciousness, probably not even working, and the other thing she could think of is to tell him to kill himself, which would immediately fail because Godzilla cannot. He is more durable than his own atomic breath.
So what you trying to do, bro? You don't want none of this. Boom! When I get mad, all I see is spray.
Their win conditions are extremely specific and not in character, but if you do want to say it, they could win by telling Godzilla to either fuck off or sending him to the mirror dimension. Completely dependent on how much you want to get these guys to win.
Hey guys, could you just look right here for
9 out of 10 times, Godzilla is going to absolutely obliterate and sodomize both teams at once. And I know that I've said this is Power Ray Godzilla, and yes it is, but any version of Godzilla that can use his atomic breath is easily defeating all of these guys, since his literal body heat scaling is as high, if not higher, than all of these people. Without Wanda and Strange, the Justice League will never be able to win, and without the speed of Superman, the Avengers will never be able to use their hacksmongers. So yes, Devon wholeheartedly believes that Godzilla would win against the Avengers and the Justice League with no difficulty at all. Thank you guys for 1,000 subscribers, and I'm gonna have to tell y'all g'day.